Growing up, I got the same advice over and over again. Work hard and stay humble. Good advice that can ruin careers. Now, being back at school, I remember there being 3 types of students. The first was the class clown. Our biggest class clown was called Catello. He was not exactly a model student, but he definitely knew how to grab the attention of the entire room and how to make us all laugh. The second type were the more quiet and unassuming ones sitting at the back of class. Students like Lisa. I was friends with Lisa because I was very much like her. And the third type was the overachiever. Now, the biggest overachiever of our entire school was called Julian. Do you still remember these students who, after an exam, would just stand there and be like, I don't know, it was not that good, maybe I even failed. Only to get straight A's a week after, every single time. Diligent students like Julian always got it right. So the narrative for me and for everyone else was very clear. It would be students like him who would go on to have a stellar career, and all of the doors would be open to students like Julian. Many years later, and I see the same narrative when I teach MBA students. When I ask them what they believe will be the most deciding career factor, they tell me remarkably similar answers. Work hard, stay disciplined, and put in the hours. I've been working with CEOs for over 10 years on communication. And when I ask them what actually helped them to get to where they are right now, I get completely different answers. They tell me people and communication skills, networking, and visibility. Hard work is never denied. It's just not mentioned in the top 5. We overestimate the influence that hard work alone will play on our career. We also see it in the language that we use. We use terms like getting promoted, as if it's something passive, as if it's something that happens automatically if we just put in enough hours. And we underestimate a power that top executives have used for decades. And this power is called personal branding. Making sure that the value that you bring to the table is not only seen, but also considered when it matters most. Because your career will not only depend on what you do, but also on what people believe you do and can do in the future. This is what opens doors long before we even knew they existed. But there's a catch. Personal branding is a skill that most people don't use, underestimate, and I think that's because personal branding probably doesn't have the best reputation. Now, I know, because when I tell people what I do for a living, I usually get one of 2 reactions. The first usually comes from young professionals. When they hear the term personal branding, they go like, oh, personal branding, yeah, it's this thing that people do on LinkedIn, right? Like this bragging about yourself. It's so cringe. And honestly, I could never do this because I love understatement, and I believe that my work will speak for itself. And then there's another reaction that I get, usually from people who have been working for 15 years, people somewhere in middle management. They tell me, I've done lots of trainings. I would consider myself even more skilled than most of my peers. I'm a hard worker, yet for some reason, it's always my colleagues who get the prestigious projects. For some reason, it's my colleagues who get promoted. I feel stuck. The frustration of these people is so real. What they lack is not even more training and more skills. What they lack is strategic visibility. So my invitation for you today is to start using personal branding as the power tool that it is for your career, before someone else gets the opportunities that were meant for you. But how do we start without personal branding feeling cringe or like we have to adapt a completely different personality? The first step is to change your relationship with personal branding. You see, it's not about look at me. It's about look at this. Despite its name, personal branding is not about putting yourself center stage. In a business context, personal branding is about sharing your valuable knowledge, sharing your experience and your expertise. This is what opens doors and creates opportunities, not only for yourself, but also for others. This is how we as humans actually evolved. This is what creates value. So not sharing your knowledge is not a virtue. It actually hinders progress. The second step is to make yourself memorable. It's probably one of the most frequently asked questions we get throughout our career. What do you do? Please introduce yourself. In one of my last workshops, there was a highly skilled head of finance with an impressive track record. And when I asked her to introduce herself in the morning, she said something like,